They're all upcoming free agents this summer. But LeBron said he made his picks according to the best players available, not based on free agency. Well, on LeBron's real team, LA wasn't able to trade for Anthony Davis last week, and they couldn't sign Paul George last offseason. So we're once again joined by one of LeBron's former teammates, Chris Bosh. Chris, should free agents want to play with LeBron?
LA's a cool town. I mean, the Lakers are still the Lakers. We were joking in the back. I said, look, you know, people really underestimate this free agency stuff. If LeBron wants to recruit and Magic Johnson wants to recruit, you're going to listen. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a top destination. Whether guys choose it or not, that's another thing.
But Paul George wouldn't even take a meeting with Magic. Why'd you think that happened, even though LeBron and Magic, he's from the area. He wouldn't even take a meeting.
Oklahoma City has a pretty good team. I think he made the right decision, and he's
playing great.
He's playing great, and, you know, he noticed that. And I'm sure he saw something with Russ and the team that they could build and wanted to stay there, just like Russ did.
How much when you were with LeBron, obviously you won 2 championships, but your numbers, you were about 22, 23, and 11 in Toronto, 24 some seasons, down to like 18, 17, and your rebounds down a little. Do you think some guys look at playing with LeBron as, if I play with LeBron, my numbers are going to drop, I'm not going to be able to play my game? Your game changed.
Yeah.
How much of a deterrent could that be to some other stars?
Well, I mean, if somebody wants to take that into consideration, if getting numbers is more important, then it's more important. You know, I can attest to numbers not being everything. I know we're living in a numbers-driven world, but numbers don't mean everything. You know, you can still have success and play on a pretty good team. It's just whatever a person wants to do.
Was it tough for you, though? I mean, you were still making all-star teams and still getting a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
But was it tough to play that different role when, you know, everything kind of ran through LeBron?
Of course. Winning is tough. Winning is tough. Even if I was asked to average old numbers, which happened later in my career, that's hard, you know? It doesn't really mean anything to say, okay, I'm 24-12, but, you know, I'm sitting home kind of watching, having playoff parties all the time. It gets overrated, you know?
LeBron talked about trying to recruit players, and he said that he couldn't get anybody to come to Cleveland. Did he try to get you before he decided to go to Miami with Dwayne Wade and you? Did he try to get you to come to Cleveland?
No.
Okay,
we played it out.
Right.
Everybody played it out, yeah. That was the whole process.
That's what he was saying, that he couldn't get anybody.
Yeah, and can I say, hey, man, Giannis Antetokounmpo for MVP, man. Nobody's talking about Giannis.
Over Harden. He's second.
Yes.
Over Harden.
You would pick the Milwaukee Bucks in first right now in the preseason. Would you say the Milwaukee Bucks are going to have home court advantage throughout the playoffs?
No, but I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't have said James Harden's going to score
for sure, and that's amazing.
30 straight games.
But I give the nod to Giannis only because they're in first place. He's playing amazing.
He's playing great.
Giannis Antetokounmpo for MVP, everybody.
But Harden doesn't have any help.
When I think about LeBron James and guys wanting or not wanting to come and play with him, for me, I just think this era, social media driven, guys want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
It's not so much about, okay, I feel like I need LeBron to get it done or win championships. They're like, I don't per se need LeBron.
Yeah.
I want to be the one that does it without LeBron and establish my own team or identity and championships to where I don't have to attach them with the success of such a great player like LeBron. Do you see that?
No, absolutely. The new generation is coming in, is really here, and they're trying to establish themselves, you know. So that's a part of being a young player and wanting to establish yourself in the NBA, saying, I can do it myself, and that's great. It's like I say, it's a team sport, so you're going to have to find yourself in a position to be able to do that. Everybody wants to be a franchise player, but that's just not the case. It may be a little construed with social media followings and then a lot of money being, you know, paid to these young guys. So they might think in their head like, oh, yeah, I'm the guy to do this. When you're a kid in the driveway, what do? You count down and you're the one hitting the shot at the buzzer, right? Doesn't always happen. You know, that's not always realistic. It's good to practice it, but it just might not happen.
But Chris, is it also a part where if LeBron wins or the team wins, it's about LeBron, and when you don't win, you're the reason why. Like, it's always been like in Cleveland lately, well, LeBron doesn't have any help. So what do you gain if you go play with LeBron and say you don't win? You kind of get all the blame. Everybody says LeBron's a great player, but he doesn't have any help. Could that deter you from wanting to be a part of something like that?
Well, I mean, it just depends on the person. I think it depends on the person, what they want out of basketball. Fact of the matter is, LeBron is a great player, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to do it. And you have an opportunity to play with a guy like that. You know, it's, I always like to compare, with Kobe and Jordan. Same kind of narrative. Do people want to play with Kobe? He's just, drives people just up the wall, and he's competitive, and so is Mike. And it's just always going to be that narrative of if. And, you're going to have to conform to a really good player. KD conformed his game, as crazy as it sounds, around the Golden State Warriors, and it looks amazing. The team moving the ball, and he's probably really good one-on-one. You know what I mean? So it allows him to open up his game, but you do have to conform around great players. That's just no getting around that.
If KD or Kyrie or Klay Thompson, Kawhi Leonard, one of these big-time free agents came to you and said, look, I'm considering going to the Lakers, what was it like? You sacrificed numbers, it's going to be LeBron's team. What was it like to play with him, and what advice would you give them?
Just play basketball. It's basketball at the end of the day. That's the best part.
But it's different than you were used to playing.
Yeah, I mean, you can get more shots now, so it's a little, I don't, what do people want? And it's always this narrative where, we're always talking about, LeBron, you have to deal with that. I think that's the biggest thing you have to deal with is the media narrative and kind of navigating that and not really slipping up all the time. That's pretty much like number one. And it's just, you're going to be under the microscope. That's just a fact of the matter. So if you don't understand what that means, you'll learn. If you don't want to understand what that means, then sign somewhere else. There's a lot of teams with cap space.
I'm going to say this because Rob is being very modest and mild right now. He does not want LeBron to be successful.
That's not true.
And he does not want...
That's not true. I don't want him to be successful.
You don't want him making the playoffs.
They're not going to make the playoffs based on the team that he has.
Right now, the way he's posing all these questions and trying to... He's playing the nice guy.
No, I'm not.
He wants to see if he can pull you over. But he wants LeBron and the Lakers to miss the playoffs. I don't really believe he wants to see LeBron acquire another talent because he wants to be able to say, nobody wants to play with LeBron James.
I'm just giving you the facts of what's happened. That's why I asked him the question about LeBron said he tried to attract people to Cleveland. But you said that conversation...
it was me. Well, and he played there for 7 years.
Right, but he never talked to you really about it.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
He went to the finals. That's pretty good. Who's going to go to Cleveland, especially when seriously. Especially when the salary cap was tight. It's not like it is today. Cleveland has more flexibility. Small market teams have more flexibility to pay more. Back then, you couldn't. Who are you going to get?
But when you look LeBron, okay, we could talk about his triple-double he had, but he didn't defensively play poorly last night. That's why they weren't able to win, because defensively they couldn't stop the Hawks. And I'm saying even LeBron's come back from injury. They've lost 2 of the 5 games that he's won. 2 of the 5 that he's played in, because remember, he rested that 1 game. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, when I look at this team, I don't think it's a good team, even with LeBron. Like, they have issues. So it's not a shock to me.
At one point?
No, where are they now? We're not talking about the past.
He missed 18.
Right now, they're in the 10th seed.
So you're a prisoner of the moment.
I'm not a prisoner of the moment. I'm talking about real facts, not about what happened.
Quickly, are the Celtics better with or without Kyrie?
Ooh, bring him into
We've been talking that.
Kyrie's pretty good, too. I'm going to say with.
Say it to him.
He's better.
No, right.
He's going to say with.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean?
Because he's Kyrie.
Because they are.
He has his own shoe, guys. Come on. You got to have your own shoe. You got to be pretty good.
He makes my point.
You see when he finishes in the lane and doing all that, and the step back. You were there. He's pretty good.
You guys can bet some sneakers on it. Chris Bosh, the 4th player in Miami Heat history to have his jersey retired next month. Congratulations, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Chris.
And
It's fun.
LeBron won't make the playoffs.
We have some breaking news in the NFL. Joe Flacco reportedly on his way to Denver. We'll discuss that next.